I want to go with the Rays. We'll
Okay.
start with the Rays.
Your Rays.
I've picked them to win the 2020 COVID Cup.
Yes.
I'm just kidding. It's the World Series. We're gonna treat it as a regular season.
Yes.
I put a lot of stock, and this kind of goes against like how I generally feel about baseball organizations, but I put a lot of stock into that organization and the way they run it and the way they're able to exploit the platoon matchups, put guys in advantageous situations. They do it better than anyone. And with this deep roster pool, a team like that has an advantage. Obviously, I love their starting pitching. I think their lineup's deeper than you give it credit for. Their defense is outstanding. They kind of are a team that, yeah, do I wish they had one more big bat in their lineup? Yes, but I don't think they need it. And like we're saying, and I said this earlier, this trade deadline is going to be interesting. I think that's a team that's going to be very aggressive in the market.
What are they going to do that we don't see coming? Like what?
Francisco Lindor.
No, that would not.
A
That
rental.
would be so opposite of the Rays. Like everything you're saying about how like you're buying into how they work as an organization. When have they ever made a signing for a big free agent in the middle of the season? I would guess it's 0.00000 repeating. It just doesn't.
Yeah, but
like,
I think they could get the reason
That's
I
not
say
what they
that
do,
is
Trev.
I think Lindor's on a discount. These guys are bargain shoppers.
Okay, but
Going
all
to
right.
get Lindor during a regular full-length season might cost you a little more. I think he's going to be a little cheaper this year. I could be totally wrong about that.
That doesn't fit who they are. I meant between the lines, lineups, roster, what are they going to do? They went to the opener first. They went to all the crazy shifts first. There is something the Rays are going to do to manipulate the 60-game season that we don't see coming, that they have planned out already.
I think they're just going to pitch and platoon you to death.
We talked about this. I'm sorry. I have to mention this because we talked about it. That defensive lineup that they can throw out there with the outfielders, I think we could see them do that.
Jim, I think, and maybe that's the take, that they're almost going to have like a special teams. Like they can put in a defensive lineup that's like
I love that.
like unseen, especially in the outfield. And we joked with Austin Meadows about it when we talked to him, and he was like, "Hey, do you ever tell Kiermaier to like get out of here?" And he kind of chuckled, and he's like, "No, go get it, man.
Yeah.
Like if he wants it, fine." And they've got dudes who can do that. I just think they're going to platoon you to death. Look at their pitchers, and I know, again, being Yankee fans, we get to see these guys, and you might not know who Colin Poche is or Oliver Drake, but they're nightmares. They're absolute nightmares. Like, you don't, and those are their six best guys in the rotation. Brendan McKay, who is a top pick and a two-way player. Jalen Beeks, who is the big piece in the Evaldi trade. They're guys that are like flexible pieces at the end of their pen. Every person on that team that can pitch, can pitch. And it's
you didn't even say the guy that I think's the scariest out of the pen, just stuff-wise, Diego Castillo.
I didn't mention any of their good guys. It's
Yeah.
Anderson, Castillo,
Okay.
Alvarado, Chaz Rowe.
Yeah.
Nick
Like-
Anderson is something else too.
Yeah.
Like every guy that comes in can pitch, and that also might be what they can raise almost playoff game every game
Yeah.
and look incredible. And I just
Diego
think
Castillo is a walking broken wrist. Like his two-seamer's just like he's just going to
Disgusting.
break wrists.
it's filthy. I'll do the quick platoons. I mean, with the lefties, you have a guy like Brandon Lowe, Austin Meadows, G-Man Choi, Susugo, my guy, Kiermaier, Nate Lau, the first baseman. He put up huge minor league numbers. He got the call last year. Joey Wendell, you could throw him out there. Those are your lefties. Oh, you're throwing a left-handed pitcher out there? You're going to keep Meadows in, but you got Yandy Diaz. You've got Hunter Renfroe, who's got huge splits. Willie Adames, he'll probably be out there at short all the time. But then you can go with someone like Jose Martinez. Forget if I mentioned him. He came over in the St. Louis trade, and now he has a position, a.k.a. can DH. Manny Margot's got some okay splits, and he's another guy that just covers full outfields by himself. So I think they're just going to pitch and platoon you to absolute death.
I agree.
Yeah. It's not going to be fun to play him.
No.
Even if you beat him, it's not going to be fun to play him.
Because, dude, even if you knock out their starter, they're going to Jalen Beeks or Brandon McKay, who are good.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, man. That's a little scary.
Have they been in this position where they're this good prior to the season? Like, have they been this good in their franchise history? They've had some good teams.
I will say this.
The
and this
Price
is gonna
Longoria years, they were close.
This is going to sound snobby. I thought that they lacked poise last year. There were some big series where you could tell they were breathing a little heavier, and it felt like they were like, oh, shit, our expectations are high. I remember some pitching performances, and it was Snell and McKay, and McKay was rookie, but it was like it just seemed like they were like, oh, boy, expectations are finally here.
Teams need to go through that, though.
Yeah, and they did it for 1 year, so
Yeah.
they may be great. They might be in a perfect position this year.
Yeah. I really like him. Like everything about him.
Dude, go to pitcherlist.com and just watch Diego Castillo's stuff. Look at
It's
this
nasty.
two-seamer. 100 mile per hour with like half a foot of run.
It moves like a changeup.
Yeah. It's
moves like a
100 miles
changeup.
per hour. What a nightmare.
No, I mean, they're like any of the. There's about 6 guys in their bullpen that if they were on your team, you'd be like, yo, Poche's nasty. Like, that's who the Rays are.
I mean, who's a guy that they could go get? You're saying no to Lindor. I think that's a possibility. Who are the other guys that are going to be available that they could go get?
George Springer, if the Astros blow it.
I don't even
Don't
think they're going to
yeah.
go get anyone.
If there was a
I
year,
could see
I'm
it
kind of
happening.
with Trevor, because I think the more numbers go into it, other teams are going to be gun shy. If another team traded for Lindor, they're thinking about filling the house. Like Tampa doesn't worry about that anyways. If there's a year, I think this would be the year. But to Jimmy's point, they've just never done it.
Never done it. No.
Yeah.